Chapter 3: Dreams and Upgrades. Lennox stirred slowly as the soft beams of sunlight danced across his face, illuminating the rustic interior of the hut he had been fortunate enough to stumble upon. The previous day's revelations about his new life were still swirling in his mind. He was a lazy gamer, but now he had become something far more. Leaning against the rough-hewn wall, his mind engaged in a silent battle between indifference and the weighty allure of adventure. His stat screen had become a fixture in his mind's eye, reminding him that growth was possible. Somehow, he had to embrace his circumstances, enthralling and bewildering as they were. The notion that his upgrades would activate only while he slept pushed away his impulse to conserve energy and live like a recluse. No, in this world of perilous quests and mythical beasts, he would have to be proactive. With a grunt, Lennox pushed himself off the rocky floor, still grumbling about the unfairness of awakening so early. The terrain outside was a lush green, vibrant with morning dew, and the forest offered a tapestry of life. He needed to take advantage of this dreamlike state before his next slumber. He quickly checked his status window that floated faintly in the corners of his mind. Status: Name Lennox. Level 1. Experience 5/100. Stats: Strength 5, Agility 5, Endurance 5, Intelligence 10, Charisma 7. He had noticed that his intelligence was disproportionately high compared to other stats, a reflection of his real-life gaming skills, no doubt. Though baffled by this world's lack of conventional logic, he recognized a chance to use his cunning. Okay, Lennox muttered to himself, determined to take a step forward. Time to explore and see if I can find something to upgrade. He donned the simple leather attire he found in the hut, strap-laden with pouches that could contain potions or ingredients. As he stepped outside, the forest unveiled itself in full glory. Birds flitted between the branches, their calls a gentle chorus underscoring the peaceful morning. The humidity hung thick in the air, but it wasn't stifling. Instead, it invigorated him as he took a deep breath, feeling the crispness fill his lungs. There was promise in the air, the unpredictable thrill of adventure calling him. He wandered along the well-worn forest path. His mind turned to the mechanics of his new existence. Upgrades. With every dream-induced upgrade, his knowledge of the world and its intricacies would only increase if he played his cards right. The possibilities sparked a flicker of excitement within him, though he struggled against the urge to revert to his more traditional napping ethos. Upgrades, he echoed, envisioning the new heights he could reach. I need to find a way to get experience points. Before he could daydream further, a rustle in the bushes caught his attention. He glanced in that direction, heart racing, prepared for anything. What he discovered was a small, round creature that resembled a cross between a rabbit and a raccoon. Its large, expressive eyes blinked at him curiously, and instead of scurrying away, it approached him tentatively. "What are you?" he asked, crouching low to observe it better. "Fluffy!" The creature squeaked as it twitched its ears adorably. "Fluffy hungry." He blinked in disbelief. "You can talk?" "Talk. Fluffy find food for you. Good food." It stood up on its hind legs and struck a silly pose, as if it were trying to sell him on an idea. Lennox chuckled despite himself. "All right, Fluffy, show me this good food. Maybe I can help you find something?" The creature bounced excitedly. "Follow Fluffy." Without a second thought, Lennox obeyed. He felt an odd sense of kinship with this unusual being, a partnership formed through mutual goals. As they meandered deeper into the woodlands, the matted greenery gave way to patches of wildflowers, where Fluffy darted around, searching for something. "Fluffy's smart! Find berries!" it exclaimed when it unearthed a cluster of iridescent purple berries. They sparkled under the sunlight, promising fresh energy. "Good for munching. Boost strength." "Boost strength?" Lennox raised an eyebrow. "How do you know that?" "Fluffy eat berries. Fluffy strong," it retorted, demonstrating its strength by lifting a twig twice its size, only to fumble it comically. Lennox couldn't help but smile as he reached for a berry. He hesitated, considering the risks of consuming something from an unfamiliar world. But Fluffy looked at him expectantly, so he shrugged. What was the worst that could happen? He plucked a berry from the cluster and scrutinized it closely before placing it in his mouth. The flavor burst like an explosion of sweetness on his tongue, flooding his senses with an energy he hadn't realized he was missing. He couldn't help but grin. Okay, this is good. What's it called? Fluffy name, it announced triumphantly. Shady berry. Good for energy. Suddenly, he felt a tingle course through him, a rush of adrenaline igniting his veins. Prompted by the berry, a notification flashed in his mind. Stat update. Experience gained 20. New stat acquired. Strength temporary 2. Wait, what? Lennox exclaimed. Temporary strength? Not permanent, Fluffy confirmed, bouncing toward him enthusiastically. Fluffy want more berries. Good for Fluffy too. As the energy surged through his body, Lennox felt a renewed sense of purpose. All right, let's find more. The duo scoured the area, uncovering more clusters of shady berries, each one providing swift bursts of energy and pleasure. Each time he consumed a berry, his excitement built. He was learning, adapting. Though the boosts were temporary, they invigorated him to rely on strengths beyond his previous lazy gaming lifestyle. After a while, the sun climbed higher in the sky, and Lennox knew it was time to return to the hut. The day couldn't last forever, and he wanted to ensure he had time to digest all he had learned. He glanced down at the berries he still had stored away in his pouch, feeling a sense of accomplishment radiate from his core. What's next, Fluffy? Lennox asked, feeling a bond form between them. Sleepy time soon. Fluffy tell dreams. Fluffy had regained its energy as well and hopped in circles. Dreams? Lennox furrowed his brow, recalling the new mechanics of his upgrades. You mean I can dream of upgrades? Yes! Dreams full of power. Fluffy plopped down in the grass, fluffing itself into a ball. Fluffy tells stories. Dreamland very fun. All right, let's see what you've got. As evening approached, they returned to the hut, and sitting cross-legged on the floor, Fluffy began spinning stories about great heroes, mystical beasts, and realms filled with unimaginable treasures. The idyllic evening worked its magic. Lennox felt lulled into the rhythm of the stories, allowing himself to visualize the landscapes Fluffy painted with his words. Close your eyes, Lennox. Dream with Fluffy. The little creature's enthusiasm was infectious, and Lennox found himself smiling. With Fluffy's encouragement, Lennox laid back, letting the warmth of serenity envelop him like a warm blanket. He could feel the weariness of the day settling in, and before long, the world began to fade away. In dreams, he found himself in a vast expanse filled with cascading waterfalls, towering mountains, and endless green plains. The air shimmered with ethereal light. He stood tall, empowered by the strength of shady berries, familiar abilities warping into wondrous forms. He moved with newfound agility, capable of leaping from rock to rock, unearthing hidden treasures and relics that could help him. A vast array of potential upgrades, each shimmering with promise. Strength, he shouted, and a warm glow enveloped him, solidifying his body with newfound power. Intelligence, he called again, a pulsating wave surging through him as wisdom from ancient texts flowed into his mind. He recognized that as he dreamt, his stat screen morphed, evolving along with him. Status, name Lennox. Level 2, experience, 300. Stats, strength, 7, agility, 7, endurance, 5, intelligence, 12, charisma, 7. In this dream realm, he chased after glimmers of opportunities. Each connection solidified his understanding of what upgrade paths he could pursue. He embraced the thrill coursing through him, a heady mixture of joy and anticipation. But all dreams must end, and Lennox felt a gentle tug pulling him back to reality. He awoke with a start, a vibrant flush coursing through him, infused with power and potential. Wakey, wakey, sleepyhead, Fluffy chirped, its large eyes reflecting excitement. Fluffy, look, Lennox exclaimed. I leveled up. Yes, Fluffy knew. Dreams are powerful. Fluffy spun around, giggling. More berries tomorrow? Absolutely, Lennox replied with a wide grin spreading across his face. And maybe more adventures? With his heart filled with exhilaration and a newfound resolve, Lennox was ready to take on the challenge of this world. He'd learned to embrace the duality of his existence. Every nap would unveil fresh possibilities, paving the way for heroics he had never imagined. With dreams as his allies and Fluffy by his side, his journey had only just begun.